I am Steph Stalheim. I'm the city attorney, and our office consists of myself and two assistant city attorneys, Nick Schmitz and Corbin Dickerson. And then we also have two office staff, Nathaniel and Rebecca. Our office responds to requests from all city departments, city council members for requests for legal opinions. We draft ordinances, we draft contracts, we review legal documents, we respond to municipal court. We will forward complaints to our insurance reserve fund. Anything concerning legal business with the city, our office is involved in some way, shape, or form. A lot of the services that we provide, I think, could be categorized as core services, especially when it comes down to providing legal advice or drafting legal documents, reviewing things for legal compliance, things of that nature. Representing the city in municipal court, I think all of that comes down to like core services that we would provide. Some non-core services that I think that we render, we go to a lot of different meetings, and just given our staff's length of tenure here, I've been here, in August, I will have been here about 10 years, and Nick Schmitz, I think he's coming up on 4 or 5 years here as well, and so we've familiarized ourselves with a lot of city processes, a lot of internal staff we're familiar with, and so we can kind of help connect the dots as to who does what around the city. While it's not necessarily rendering legal advice, we can kind of speak to some of like, this is how it's been handled in the past kind of questions. So I don't know that I necessarily call that like a core service with our office, but we do get pulled into a lot of those kinds of conversations. At the city, when we did have a law firm that was contracted out, before a question would even reach that law firm, it would go up to the finance director and the city manager to determine if it even needed legal review. I think we've translated to a lot of cost savings for the city and a lot of just risk mitigation that can happen on the forefront of a lot of issues. So we had a retirement this past year. We lost Nancy Horst, and she had been with the city closing on 10 years as well. And so with that, when we did our budget analysis, we did have some salary savings. When we brought our new staff member, Rebecca, on, she doesn't have the years of service that our prior staff member did. So there are some salary savings in terms there that were actualized with our flat scenario as well as the +3, -3. Our budget's really small compared to other budgets. We don't have vehicles. We don't do a lot of traveling. We don't have a huge office. We have a beautiful new office, so like our furniture needs and things of that nature are probably not going to be significant. What most of our salary is people. It's the 5 of us, and then it's maintaining the technology that we have. So back in COVID, we translated a lot of our office over to a electronic practice. So we don't have a paper practice where we're carrying folders with us to court and back and forth like that anymore. It's all electronic on our computers. So we just have to make sure that we're keeping up with the technology upgrades. So we've tried to do a lot of like cost savings along the way as it is. Where we could trim, and when I say could, like is our education and training. And so as attorneys, like we're required to maintain so many continuing legal education or CLE credits each year. Those are areas where we can kind of trim that back down if need be. And we can definitely do that. What that typically results in, though, is we'll start looking for less expensive continuing legal education requirements locally, which doesn't always necessarily translate to learning about things that impact municipal government. So I could get CLE credits on family law and probate and things like that, and satisfy my requirements to keep my license. But I don't know how helpful that's necessarily going to be for the city of Minot. Like the quote unquote projects that we're doing, like we're reviewing ordinances, it's all labor and time. And we have a finite number of hours in a day. And so if we're in meetings, we aren't also looking at ordinances at the same time. Although we'll often be multitasking in a lot of those places, which is why we bring our computers with us everywhere, and you'll see us typing away on it. It's all as like a time saver. Yeah. So we try to be as efficient as possible with the municipal court legislative rewrite. They need to become a court of record by the middle of next year. And so they are going to have to purchase recording equipment. They're going to have to educate themselves on how to use that. And then if they do have an appeal up to district court, which is also a court of record, my understanding is that they're looking at changing the standard of review potentially from de novo, which it currently is, which means you would get a whole new trial up there. The municipal court trial would basically go away, and you'd have a brand new trial up there, and you'd just do it all over again on the record, and it would be recorded there. Now, they're going to record it at municipal court, and when it goes to district court, they're going to do what's called an appellate review, which means they're going to have to create a transcript, and it looks like a movie script, like exactly what you'd picture. It's going to have the prosecutor and what they said, it's the defendant and what they said, the whole way verbatim, all throughout the proceeding in municipal court, and then the district court will look at that and determine whether or not there were any errors made during the prior proceeding. And if they were, then they'll enter judgment accordingly. They'll either remand it to municipal court for them to fix their mistake, or they'll affirm or agree with what the municipal court judge said, and then they'll stamp the judgment, and that again, I believe, could potentially be appealed to the Supreme Court if they wanted to. So there'll be 2 levels of appellate review instead of the trial de novo that happens up at district court now. Okay. So just adaptations that we're going to have to make. And they're going to be doing rule rewrites to Supreme Court rule amendments to accommodate the legislation too. So that could all kind of evolve as that process goes forward. To my knowledge, that hasn't started quite yet. But our budget isn't exciting. We don't have that many. We're here, and it's the billable hour. Yep.